It's working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious. I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Two, 211. All right, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. Come on in, sit down, and bring my man in. Oh, John Watson, what's good with you?
What's up with you, champ?
Hey, no intro, no music, no sound effects. I'm at work.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
just raw and direct.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All fun and games, Friday, 6 p.m. East Coast time. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast. We see you. Everybody that came over from the Karen Hunter Show, welcome in. First timers, come in, sit down, don't touch nothing. Just follow along, and you'll be better for it. Everybody else, shout out to all the the day oneers. Everybody in the peanut gallery, also known as the nigga section. Good to see y'all. And hey, Deborah.
I haven't shut them out in a while.
Chase Candle Company, what's good with you? Yeah. You know, well, it's one of those things when you don't have sound effects and clapping and applause. You know, you revert back to the old days. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me try to turn my phone on the hotspot. Is this me? iPhone? Is this me? Let's see if this works. Oh no, that's not me. Okay. Well, technical difficulty. This is a live show, don't trip. I had to bring the kit to work today. Let's see, was it you or was it me?
Let me
who is it?
Too much I can do on my end, but I feel
what was happening? Fresh? What do you see?
Well,
you fresh, but
okay.
Do I be freezing? I be freezing?
You was freezing for a hot second. But you're
because I saw you freezing. It was weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, you good now.
I guess when I saw you freezing, I was really froze.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yes, and yes.
Yeah. I think that's yeah. But yeah, man. This week. So I'm gonna get right to it because I ain't gonna be here long because I'm at work, and we know how that turns out all the time.
Right. Don't need that second write up.
Yeah, we do really don't. We don't need that.
No, sir.
But the Freaknik documentary, man, people are beside themselves at the mere notion.
Can I say something?
I find it so fascinating. Yeah.
I must have way longer than I needed to this week and last week in particular.
Yeah.
To find and watch this documentary, only to learn.
Oh no, it's not done yet. No, you didn't know this. You didn't know this. But it's getting so much more traction. It's getting worse. Like the fear. Like
people keep talking about it.
The fear. And there was a report this week. I don't know how accurate or true it was, where a group of upstanding professional women from that era are trying to do a cease and desist.
Yeah, they're the freaks.
Yeah. It's like two judges, an attorney, a business owner, a real estate mogul,
couple senators that you might not be aware of.
Yeah, but I'm like, y'all drawing way too. I saw some of the funniest memes. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, but I'm like, I've seen so many posts about Freaknik and people talking about the Freaknik documentary, and you would have think y'all saw it twice. As many comments as I see about the memes and so on. So I was looking on Hulu and Netflix. I had to Google an article about it. I'm like, when did the Freaknik documentary come out? Yeah. And I read the article, and the article was like, oh, it doesn't come out for another, like, I think a couple months from now. I'm like, why are people so
and it's funny for the moment. It's something to latch on to, but also I'm like, it's here comes the think pieces. You know what I mean? The think memes and the heady critical analysis of it all. And if you're so worried about seeing your aunties and your moms and your grandmas, but what about your rapey dads and grandpa? So I've seen all that going back and forth. dividing us once again.
Yeah. I don't think that 90s culture needs to be that exposed. I think we had a good thing going not having social media.
And Jermaine Dupri allegedly is behind it. And so, I guess they want to
snitching.
Snitching. That's basically what it is.
Because basically what essentially I can only imagine, right? So here's to me the entire documentary.
Mm-hmm.
They scoured the earth for anyone and everyone who had 15 minutes of usable VHS
beta. Yeah, right. Yeah,
because everybody was out there with their hand cams or whatever, and you had to find footage that was stored properly and it was in the garage, but it wasn't too hot.
And it hasn't corrupted, and all that. It
hasn't been corroded, and they peeled together. How many ever hundreds of, just because no one else was. There was no phone to carry. There was no. I mean, I don't know how the news coverage was in Atlanta, but I assume that the news was very peripheral because they couldn't really show the real deal because you couldn't show that stuff on the news on television back then. So I'm like, all you're gonna see is individual people telling on themselves and say, "Yeah, I'll give you, X amount of money for my footage."
I feel like the video is available on YouTube, like at this moment. Like, I don't think you're gonna see anything. One, that you haven't seen. Two, it's gonna be like watching an old music video.
Right.
I feel like that's what it's going to be. Like if you was watching BT Uncut from around circa 2000.
Yes, at 2 a.m. Yeah.
At 2 a.m. I feel like other than now there was some conversation pieces. Like I've seen the little one-on-one with the iotas and the young ladies, and that wasn't a good look for the individuals in that particular clip. Specifically the guys. Because I think it'll just be more so of a way to compare how things were to how they are now. Like if you really want to talk about cancel culture and the evolution of the Black social structure, then sure, this will be an interesting watch. But beyond that, like maybe because I didn't go, I may feel some kind of different about it. Maybe if I went, I'd be hype. But people are really like shook in their boots and getting ahead of it and post. What I'm enjoying now is people posting their own video and pictures that have been in the vault.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna get to it. You know what I mean? You heard
put it out. I'm gonna get out in front of it. I'm gonna get ahead of it.
Yeah. I'm enjoying that. I think that's kind of funny.
So you're saying this is not gonna be a pleasant walk down memory lane
for some. Yeah, for some. Shout out to Howie Hefner, normal shit in the chat. He says he's gonna do DMV, known as DMV Luke. He said he's gonna do one for this area in like 5 years. Now that that may have people
duck
on
and
edge.
cover.
Yeah, that may have people on
edge
because in the era of, like you said, cell phone footage and all that, I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
One of the funny memes that I saw was like, calm down, sis. That was 80 pounds ago.
Nobody's gonna know you.
Nobody's gonna recognize you. And I'm like, that's how you play it.
That's funny.
That's how you play it. Like, who gonna say it? Is that you? Was that it? Tina?
That is.
I don't know. That wouldn't be.
If there couldn't be another better use of the phrase "sad but true."
Yeah.
Like, yo, I remember that was what. Oh, that's not you no more.
Now Kelly Bree has a great point, and this is also what and y'all feel free to jump on the show, man. I'm gonna put the link to join in all of the chats. But she says there's a great point. The only folks upset about going back is the church ladies and elders that have been terrorizing the younger folks. So this is an argument that keeps coming up, right? And I think also this is a reason for the documentary because there's such a gap between, the old heads telling the youngers, the millennials and Zoomers, y'all doing too much. We would have never. Y'all just anything. You showing your ass. You don't even. You go out the house. You look what you got on. Do you have to twerk at everything? Look at how y'all acting. And we would have never did this in public. And really, 4 minutes of video from Freaknik really really destroys
ruins it.
that entire
Ruins it.
position. You know what I'm saying?
Ruins that narrative.
So
Ruins that narrative
I'm
completely.
thinking that's another reason why it's so highly anticipated, because that really will shut the argument down from anybody, who's currently that way about the things that they see.
Well, I mean, they're saved now, so you can, I mean, listen,
Yeah, that's
what's
the
her name?
problem.
I don't know the government name of Black China, but 2 weeks ago,
Oh, Angela,
yeah,
Renee,
singing a
something.
different tune. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Where
yeah.
she can, pass scorn and judgment on anybody moving forward because I put that thing down. I gave that life back.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
That's not me anymore. So I mean,
But I
that's
don't
the
know.
only argument that people gonna have as far as if they show up in that video
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they the
But
deacon.
But that's not fair to say, because the way some older people come at the younger generation, music, everything. We didn't. All y'all do is kill it, and then you play an old song where DMX, where it was murder, murder, murder is the hook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that argument is one that's unwinnable, especially with receipts.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
the Freaknik documentary, if it ever makes it out, I think it's really just about receipts. It's so much pushback. Publicity is good, but I feel like somebody's gonna get to it and shut it down. I feel like somebody important, for whatever reason,
it's gonna be in that.
is going to be like, I don't think we. And this is the smart way, because
Uh-huh.
if I was facing scorn and scrutiny,
Uh-huh.
I would go straight activism with it. I'd be like, I would get up there, hold a press conference in a day when they are hanging black folks from trees. We
do not need
do
any
not
more
need-
propaganda.
We don't need to go back. We need to move forward. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's
That's gonna
the
be
move.
somebody. That's gonna be somebody's Zapruder film.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Somebody's
yeah.
gonna slow that thing down and be like,
And watching their mama going
isn't that
back
wait a
and to the left.
minute?
Yeah.
Right.
Her head is she in the back of that car going back and to the
Oh
left.
no! Why
Back and to
why
the
is she
left.
disappearing and reappearing? I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
Yeah.
Well, mommy lost some coins and quarters down at the base foot of that
Yeah,
car, and I was just trying
yeah.
to find them.
That was before Uber. We were ride sharing. It was the real ride share, but you had to share
Yeah.
more than just the
You had to
ride.
share more than that ride. You had to
But
share your ride.
share your ride. Oh yeah,
Oh,
man.
man.
It's people. I don't know. Is that something I'm pressed to see? Nah, not really.
Only reason why I was pressed to see it is because everything led me to believe it was already out. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is the hype? What is everybody
No,
seeing?
see, they're doing it wrong. Well, I don't know how Jermaine is doing it, but it needs to be like any other documentary, right?
Mhm.
So you need to find the people
Yeah.
and then have them sit down and tell the
feel like-
story.
I feel like literally that'd be like when they did on the Chappelle show back in the day, the Rick James stories.
Oh yeah.
And then he just, it just, showed him doing something wild, and he's like, "Hey, it was a different time."
Yeah.
Every comment be, it was a different
It was
time.
a different time, and that's when the drugs came in, and then after that,
Right.
But nah, if they had on some unsung type, you even make it kind of funny, where you show the clip and you show somebody wilding out, and then the next clip is them sitting down getting ready for the interview. You know what I'm saying? They put the thing on.
Or even better, like
glasses.
the last dance where they gave MJ.
Yeah. What this is you.
Yeah, that's
put
crazy.
the tablet.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
And I took that personally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now do that. Be like, is this you?
Right.
And tell us what mind state were you in when you were twerking on the top of this Suzuki Samurai in the middle of Peachtree at 2 in. Like,
right.
What motivated you?
Is that your Dodge Neon with 20-inch rims?
Yeah. Now that is a watch. You know what I'm saying? Get the people.
They gotta find all the watermen. Like everybody that was selling water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily partaking, but just out there, dollar water, selling the bottled waters. Like they can tell you all the stories because they weren't necessarily drinking.
And see how life turned out. You know what I mean? Like tell some, make it good. Put some positive stories in there for these people that are deacons and are pastors in the church.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great story to have them telling their story and be like, okay, so slow it down right here. You see the guy in the back with the white do-rag and the snake on his shoulders. Let that was me. I went to Claflin University, and
See,
we
right? They need
drove
like
16 hours to Atlanta, and
one testimonial. It'll be the whole time the woman's blacked out. You know, you can't see her face, and she's talking almost like witness protection style.
yeah,
But you see all the mischief she was getting into, and then lights come up, and that woman was Keisha Lance Bottoms.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. The future
oh,
mayor,
she became
yes,
the mayor.
yes.
Turned it around. She turned
Success
it
story.
around.
She turned it around,
Right.
and then turned it around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that woman, and that's Stacey Abrams. Oh, look at her now.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Flip it. You gotta reverse
Just
it.
flip. You gotta. Yeah. I I think they're missing an opportunity, and and so I saw the little clip that circulated about the history of it. I did not know that Freaknik was born out of the DC Metro Club. Did you know that?
No.
So in the South, specifically in the AU Center, the AUC, Atlanta University Center, it's
Mhm.
Clark, Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Morehouse, Spelman. There's two other little. It was like a seminary school, and then Morris Brown, then Morris
Yeah.
Brown,
Morris Brown and
and then it was a
yeah.
fifth school.
Uh-huh.
So there was some. They used to have this joint called the Metro Club, and that was for DC people to click up.
Commiserate.
And commiserate once
Yeah.
they, when they commiserate once when they out of town or whatever. So
Mhm.
this particular Metro Club, I think it
Mhm.
was Clark. They was like, all right, this is 1983, by the
Mhm.
way. Was like, they couldn't afford to go home, so let's do a picnic in the park. And they said it was like 20 people the first year,
Uh-huh.
and it caught on the next year. Next year they said it was like 60 or 70 people, and then the next year it was about 100. They said about 6-7 years in, it was just
Shut the city down.
It was a whole thing.
Shut it down.
It was a whole thing, and they had a basketball game and community organizers, and they started bringing the celebrities in, and then it caught fire,
Mhm.
right at the turn of the decade, early
Mhm.
90s,
Mhm.
and then it turned into something else because hip hop was exploding as well,
Right.
and that merged with the culture, and then it
Yeah, and then
became
but you start also hearing about Freaknik in songs.
and
So
songs,
anybody that
and then,
wasn't hip was like, what's
and
the
last
Freaknik?
next year we going, and then
Mhm.
and the New Yorkers get into it that didn't go to college, and they just come, and then it became a thing, and then it
Yeah.
was just, and they said the last good year, and I've heard this even back then, the last good year was 94,
Okay.
but it ran officially and unofficially to, I believe, 99.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah.
I think it
So
was
they
still
had
around
like an
then.
off year. They took a
Yeah.
break. Then they had a moratorium, and then it
Yeah.
came back, and then it was under different management, and then they were
Right.
like hands off. Then the city was in, and then the city was out.
Right. I think
And then
at that last point it was very like,
they had the traffic
real
order.
small part of
Yeah,
the wherever. It
you
wasn't a
can't go
whole.
this street. There's no
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
cruising. They
Uh-huh.
said they changed the landscape because they literally changed the parking situation down there because of how they used to block the freeways up.
Mhm.
So then they had a no cruising law that they dropped in it, and then the mayor Bill Campbell gave 30 million, for infrastructure and
Mhm.
services and programs. Then the next year took all the money back. So
Ugh.
y'all on your own. And then they said the last year the last 2 years it was just too much sexual assault,
Yeah.
too much vandalism, violence,
Mhm.
and it was just like, nah, that's it. That's it.
I saw somebody post on social media, Freaknik's up first. They coming for New York's tri-state area next with the Greek picnic.
Oh yeah.
Documentary.
Now, I saw some of those memes too. Now, Jones Beach and Greek Fest and Jones Beach, and then Philly
Philly
Greek.
Greek, yeah.
I am definitely on that foot. Without a doubt, there was no question.
Yeah.
I'm on somebody's camera, and not even, it's not a bad.
And
I would love to
nothing's
see it.
like, yeah,
I
yeah.
would love to see it. We either step in.
What they need is I'll bring back an oldie but a goodie. They should have had somebody record the Philly Greek story with
No, they should not.
with Keisha Knight Pulling
Yeah,
Rudy
that's
Huxtable.
it. Yeah,
That need to be documented. That should be a whole segment.
Yeah,
I never made it to. Funny enough, grew up in New York on Long Island.
You never did Jones Beach?
Never did Jones Beach.
Oh, Jones Beach was
My
interesting.
brother, my brother, Dr. Rich, would be in that documentary a few times for a couple different years.
Yeah.
I never made it to that.
I did Jones Beach one time, and it was as they say, it was mad aggressive. Jones Beach was mad aggressive. I don't know why it was different.
Anything past exit 7 off the Jersey Turnpike would be deemed as mad aggressive.
Yeah, I don't Philly Greek. We did maybe 6 or 7 times straight. But it was a different energy in the city of brotherly love than in New York at Jones Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just aggressive.
I only got Philly Greek to compare it to, and that was a good time.
Yeah.
That was a good time. It was a good time.
I'm on video either at a step show or at something. You know what I mean?
Selling some waters.
Selling waters.
You know what I mean? That's the hustle. That's always the side hustle for gas money.
Yeah.
I remember going to Philly Greek. This will tell you something. And I think it's a summertime thing. So we came from New York and filled up the tank for like $12. Remember when you can fill up your gas tank for $12?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
That was a round trip. That was like, that got you back and forth. Yeah.
So good luck, man. If you, I don't know, Freaknik, and so I have to explain what really happened. It was the spring of 1994, and that particular semester was a redo for me of the previous semester. Previous semester, this is a true story. Previous semester, I flunked out.
Oh, geez.
Like, you can't, goodbye, you can't come back.
Thank you for trying.
Thank you for trying. We'll hold on to the money.
Right. Well, check it clear, but thanks for coming.
It was one of those. True story. Second semester, there was some agreements made, some talks.
Okay, some concessions.
Yeah, some concessions made, some conversations had. There were, people on my side, there were people on their side. You can come back, but it'll be like a probationary period, even though you're not on probation. So this is just between us.
Yeah,
it's kind of we need you to treat it like a probationary situation. So
this is gonna be not on your record.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We're gonna this is a verbal commitment, but it won't be in the jacket.
Right.
So Freaknik is, I believe, spring break, April or whatever.
Yes.
Of that particular semester, had the opportunity. It was 2 guys that I knew very well who are a year older, and they were like, "We ain't go last year, but we going. We stand with the so and so's." I forgot what Greek organization. I was not in a Greek organization. They was like, "We stand with the so and so's." And I had to think to myself, I don't think that would be a smart trip.
Because of your current situation.
Well, the academic, and then they were staying with the so and so's, and I was aspiring, with the so and so. So I was like, that 10-hour trip is not going to be the trip not with them,
right?
Not with them. And then no, we got space for you.
So you were okay. Let me put this piece of this puzzle together. So you went down with the so and so's.
No, the other 2 people did, and I would have.
Right, but with the people you was rolling with, they weren't so and so's. They just knew the so and so's. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Okay.
So I was like, I said that's complicated. That would be a lot of fun, and it was money and time. Neither of which I had it at the moment. And I was like, nah, man, because I'm in this probationary period, and I need to hit these bucks. And
the way this anklet work, I can't go past certain, certain boundaries. That joint sense is fun.
The way my situation with admissions is set up.
They got to see me. They got to see eyes on me every 42 hours. So I can't necessarily,
And that is a 100% true story. And I did not go. And they drove. I think they did some wow. They went down and came back like if they went down Friday night, they came back Sunday morning.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like 9 hours. That's like a 9-hour drive
Yeah, 10 from there. Yeah, easy.
from
Yeah,
where you went to school at. Yeah, that's
yeah. And so there it
oof.
was. Yeah. And when they
Nah.
came back, it was like, yeah, I heard this was the last one. So it was like that energy
Oh,
was
the knife.
already, it was
Oh,
already,
jeez.
fixing to be. And then I met some people later, and a year later, 2 years later, and they were all, 94 was the best one. Everybody kept 94 was the best one. I'm like, so
Yeah.
that's the true Hollywood story. And that they need to have people sitting down on the documentary telling
That
about
type of
their
story. Yeah.
the type of story how they didn't
they
go.
near misses. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't
Yeah, I
go.
almost went.
I almost
Came
I was
back. I just
supposed
had
to
to. They came back. I just had to smell everybody's fingers.
Yeah.
That's all I had. That's the only thing I got. I told you the one.
That's all I could get.
That's all I could get. I told you the
Tell
one
me what
time.
You'll see it.
Nah, the one time my almost hit was just being down there spring break time for a college tour and seeing the ramping up. Actually, we was getting ready to head on the bus. They was like, "Nah, y'all gotta get on the bus. We gotta go." But I saw the whatever drop top vehicles and ladies spilling out the back, with the whatever's on and bouncing. And we was like, "Hey, can we just head up Peachtree real quick?" There's no. We getting back on the bus. We getting back on the bus.
And there's a lot of there has to be a lot of videotape, because even my guys that went, when they came back, they had the little camcorder joint. They showed the people on the with the hydraulics and in minivans hanging out the side and rocking the minivans and all that.
The 90s was full of cootie and cheeks. It's just nobody. You didn't pass it. You just held it for yourself and you showed the people at the crib like, check out what we did, and you kept on to it. You didn't try to publicize that thing. That's what I'm saying. They must have done some sort of
like an
public
open
announcement,
call,
open call. Were you at Freaknik and blah blah blah? And did you record it? Give us a call. Type of thing.
You could be if you had video from Freaknik, you could be a part of a settlement.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Did you have a child because of Freaknik?
Yeah, because you could be a part of the settlement and the documentary.
Right.
But yeah, it was a couple people that had like, random just VHS tape, and we'd sit around and watch it. Like,
yeah,
that was normal.
Yeah.
That was normal then.
Yeah. It's funny. I have unrelated, not from any event like that, but I have, a bunch of VHS, from doing that same thing in high school, just walking around with the camera, with your friends or whatever. And like one of these days, I'm gonna get it transposed onto something digital so I can look at how ridiculous we were back then. You know what I'm saying?
You got anybody in there that's either famous or infamous that's worth?
I don't think so. I don't think I'd had to really scour that thing. I don't think anybody's really come out of my class or my era that hit big.
Or big, or
actually, you know what?
Or did a murder. Or did a murder.
Yeah, or did a murder. Well, there definitely might be some people in there that are in prison. For sure. Yeah. Yes, for various things. Yeah. One woman, she became she's like a New York weather woman.
Okay.
I'm sure she's in some of the video.
Oh,
but she wasn't doing nothing crazy. She was, she was fairly wholesome back then.
Yeah.
On video.
Yeah, on video. But but in off video, the wind was blowing. It was blowing. Yeah, so I don't know. Anybody got any good Freaknik stories? She said, or became the vice president. Oh, that's dirty.
Became vice president.
I could see. Oh, that has to be. That has to.
Oh,
exist.
She had to have gone to Freaknik.
Yeah, that's was 87, 88. She strikes me as such. Yeah.
She absolutely wins.
Yeah. She enjoys a good time. Enjoys a good time. I mean, in college. I seen the pictures of her in college having a good time. So
I'm sure. You can't have been at Howard. I think Howard, they just canceled school that weekend and just the whole school.
Yeah. And everybody
just the whole school went. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Especially if it was born and bred out of people missing DC. They just called their people.
Yeah.
For spring break.
Shout out to all the Metro clubs though. And so this is what DC people back in the day did in the South.
Mm-hmm.
So I first found out about the Metro Club when I went down there in '96 for the Olympics.
Okay.
So I went to volunteer at the Olympics. Right, it was down to me and my sister was down there for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the first person I went down there and I was like, oh, I should get a job because I ain't had no money.
I
had no money.
That's a good plan. Go down there first.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't know nobody. It wasn't no cell phone. Couldn't call ahead.
Yeah. No. Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm
True
saying?
enough. Yeah. True enough.
So I went. They was like, yo, for my Georgia people, you might know Rand Staffing. I don't know if they still around, but it was a temp agency, but it was a chain. So you literally could walk in at the different branches like a bank. So it was Rand Staffing. So I went in the Rand joint, and it was one black girl working there. We get to talking. She heard the voice. I heard hers. She's from DC. She went down to Spelman or Clark or whatever, and didn't leave. And she was just like boom, 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 wham. This, because this is the vibe of DC Metro down there. That's what the club was.
Okay.
So when I heard this Freaknik story, how it started by them, I was like, that makes perfect sense. So she was like, boom, 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 wham. And it's my man Jamal. He does da da da. He throws this little set over here, da 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 da. And she gave me like handwritten this whole thing with names, numbers, addresses,
Hit you with the green book.
Nights of the week,
Uh-huh.
blah blah blah. I met people through her that I still know to this day.
Okay.
Can't find her. I don't even know what ever happened.
Right.
No. But just that experience, like that was so when I saw that clip about how the Freaknik was started by the Metro Club, I was like, that makes absolute sense. Absolute sense.
So Metro Club was kind of a society. It was
a social club.
Social club, yeah.
And they would have chapters. They would have chapters at all. So it's a metropolitan, short for metropolitan. So if you're from DC metropolitan area, the little but they will be acknowledged by the school. Okay. So you know how you have the book club and the volleyball club. They would have social club, but they were at a lot of the HBCUs in the South back in the day. I don't know if they still have them or if they call them something different. But it was short for DC Metro. So it'd be like DC Metro Club, and it would be people from back home. It's always a thing. You know how New Yorkers, when they go on the road, they all just Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? And they all, but they don't have to organize.
They don't have to organize
because they're not into that. They're not into that. They just look at you see the Timbs. And then that's it for the. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to have no meetings. They don't need no fucking meetings.
The uniform. He's like, all right, nah, we over here, fam. We over here. Now we gotta go over that way.
I got the puffy vest. We over here with the goose down, the triple fat.
Yeah,
we don't need fucking meetings.
Not hard to find.
But the DC Metro, they held meetings, and that's where Freaknik was born. So I thought that was fascinating.
You know the New Yorkers at college because they're still rolling dice up against the wall.
Yes.
Dice game? Is it a dice game?
Yes. With no. This is amazing. New Yorkers in college are amazing. I had them when I was in school. No class schedule whatsoever. That just amazing.
But we always can find a corner, a feasible corner, right? And that's the corner now. That's the block corner, even if that, and that's just our corner. That's the corner we be at. That's, on campus, like it's a bodega. We just on that corner. Yep,
man.
And that was the club.
Yeah. That was no meetings. that was the meeting.
That was the meeting.
That was the meeting.
Meeting and a meeting place. Yes.
Man, yes, those were the days. But
real quick, I saw you mention something the other day, and I thought we might talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it now since we here. Who wronged you and added the 20% tip onto your restaurant experience?
Well, so I made
and part B to that question, so I can get the full story. I'm taking it was a bad experience.
No, it was a great experience.
Oh, okay.
It just allowed me a chance to float a question out to the public, and in a tongue-in-cheek sort of way. So my in jest, I posted on Facebook. I said, businesses that force gratuity on you are low-class establishments. and it started the conversation again, which is a yearly conversation for me regarding tipping. And so I went to I took a mental health day the other day, and I went to two happy hour establishments that I hadn't got a chance to go to because of my work schedule.
Right.
Clearly.
Right.
So it was 5-6 p.m. in the early evening, and it was 80 degrees.
Yes.
And it was like I'm not going to work.
Yes.
So
happy hour.
Yeah, it was happy hour. And then I go to these places and see all these other people, happy hour. And I'm already tight. Because I'm like, oh, y'all get to do this. I don't get to do this. So now the energy is already bad within me.
Okay.
So I go to the first spot, and it was slight. I caught, they were like, oh, the happy hour here ends at 6. It's like 5:54 by the time I get there. I said, let me get one of these.
Right, you gotta order an hour worth of food in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you ain't got to come back and you beat the clock or whatever.
Right.
So slight work. So they give me the little joint, and I'm reading, and it was like it said something like 18% and some time and some mathematical equation that they came up with. And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. I see what y'all doing, but F it, it's cool. I ain't no problem.
Right.
So I go to the second, I sit there for a little bit, go to the second spot. It was like 6:56. Oh, happy hour, welcome. Happy hour closes at 7. So get it. I'm like, oh, let me get one of these. One of these. So receipt, I sit there for a little bit. Receipt come, and it's like 20% service charge added to all parties. So then I'm looking at the number just going up. It's like county liquor tax, sales tax, convenience fee, and then gratuity, or some little extra, you know what I mean? And it was a I had a glass of wine and two happy hour bites. I was like 25.
And now you're in a contract negotiation.
Yeah. So the 25 went to like 38. And so I'm like, but you're forcing me. Why all parties? Why not? What's the typical? Parties of 6.
Parties of 6.
Yeah, why not? What happened to y'all where it's got to be all parties? Yeah. I'm not even by grammatical rules of grammar.
You're not a party.
I'm not even a party.
A party of one.
I'm not party to this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, wow.
Like, who hurt y'all? Who hurt you?
Who hurt y'all?
Why am I receiving the scorn backlash?
I had no choice in this matter, right? And so I get on Facebook, and people are really, I'm broke. They like, who hurt you?
Oh,
if you can't afford to tip, you don't need to be eating. And I was like, what?
What's the principality of it, though?
Of which part?
Of them assuming that you're not going to give it.
Yes, that's why I said it's a classless.
It's the
principality. And I was being in jest, but it was just the fact that, like, give me an opportunity. I know there are some people out there. It's some dirty motherfuckers out there. I get it, but didn't minimum wage go up? Nobody's out here working for $2.35 no more.
Well, and it depends on how in restaurants are still different. Right,
but they still ain't what they was.
It's not like you getting standard minimum wage either.
Yeah, but the tipping,
because the tips are assumed that you're getting, so they're not going to pay you, $15 an hour plus tips. You know what I'm saying?
But tipping was born out of that $2.35 weight minimum wage. Correct?
Yeah, for restaurant workers, yes, in particular.
Now, okay. Now here's my question to all the smart ones out there. And I understand, I worked in the service industry. You're a leader in the service industry. We have this conversation about once a year, but no one has ever been successful at explaining to me where the percentage came from. Who agreed to, who decided on, how does it go up? It doesn't match inflation, so I don't want to hear that. It went from 15 to 18 without my permission. And then it went to 18. Then it went to 18 to 20. Like, oh, you missed the meeting.
But you did, man. I mean, it's been 20 for a while. It's actually
20 to who?
To
to people
because-
that want to pay 20.
Yes. Yeah.
But it hasn't been like a rule. It's just been afforded to you.
Well, it's been an understanding for a little while because.
But the understanding is 15.
No. The understanding hasn't been 15 in a while.
No, the understand. I'm not saying that it lives on 15. I'm saying the understanding is that at least
At bare minimum,
20 was never a discussion. It just happened.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
That's
I feel like I went to the meeting, but I didn't take notes, so I can't.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. Fully verbalize it, but like
you was over there rolling dice, and they don't.
Yeah, I was right. Pretty much, I was rolling dice, not paying attention.
Yeah.
But like, I guess the whole thing factors in. It's the same thing, and I know you're not gonna relate to this one, but the same thing with haircuts, right? Going to the barber.
I've heard
right?
about that as well.
Listen,
I've heard it's insane.
Now that I find insane, right? Because, and I get cost of living and such and so forth, but you're not doing anything different for me than what you did
12 years ago.
Literally, 20 years ago.
I grew up with you, fam. Like you've been cutting my hair since I was a child.
And I get cost of living, but like throw in the shape the beard up while you at it. If I'm paying 30
for a haircut, is that what they're doing now?
Is that what
they're doing?
30. Now? I know one barber pays is 35 and has the nerve on it because they go through an app. You got scheduled through an app. 35 and it says 35 plus tip. I'm like, wait, tip is not in there.
And so here's the question: is it a percentage or do you just get that flat 5? Because most people give the little round up. I'm gonna give you a $5 tip
on a cut
on hair in the beauty industry. Is it percentage? Is it percentage of the full price? No. Exactly.
No, it's not.
So why is it different in the restaurant?
I don't know, but the barber thing throws me for a loop because, like, here's what I don't tip my barber crazily, right? I give him a tip, like, a couple dollars, right? At the end of the year, I give him a larger for the full year, like a Merry Christmas type of, like how you tip them, your year does work long.
Right.
Like I give him like $75 at the end of the year.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah. But I give him that at the end of the year, right? Every time I get a cut, it's a couple dollars here and there. But son, the prices went up.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
the same cut.
Well, Hames, our West Coast contributor, please explain it again because I still only understand 15%. And he's me. He is me. Well, let's get some history behind it. Let's bring in Dr. Clarkson. Welcome to
What's going on?
What's up, Doc?
Hey, man. So this is the crazy thing about it. The history of tipping has always had a very much so a troubled history, mainly because the people that worked mainly in the food industry were small children and, of course, enslaved Africans. So believe it or not, there was a time where it was actually illegal to give tips because it was called an unsolicited bribe. And because if you gave this unsolicited bribe, then, of course, you're basically encouraging children to run away. And of course, you definitely encouraging enslaved Africans to run away. So it's always been problematic. So at one time, what the belief was, because you are making money in tips that cannot be technically taxed, we're going to give you the lowest amount of salary that can give you. But they realized that was bad math. So they're literally been trying to catch up to this math from 15 to 18 to 20%. So when I worked at a restaurant in New Orleans, I was an A waiter. At the end of the night, I had to tip out the hostess, the food runner, the bartender, the back waiter, my B waiter, and then finally I got a cut. But I took a good majority of the cut, but still it was a lot of cutting that went in process. Yeah. So still to this day, that actually still does happen in a lot of restaurants because they're trying to give a full experience to the patron. But anytime that tip goes down, you're trying to pay all these people out of 20%.
So, but let me mess. I want to mess y'all up. I want y'all to walk with me. Everybody watching, walk with me on this math because this is where it came from because it's a total mind fuck to me. So I get all of that history, but think about this. People say cost of living, inflation. So let's say a plate of fish, right?
Okay.
So a plate of fish cost them about $3.25. Cost the venue, right? They upcharge it. It's 20 for you. So that profit is 17, right? If it costs more for me as the owner, let's say this year post COVID, the fish supply chain, the drought, the fish kill, it cost me double. $6 piece of fish. I'm jacking you up $40, right? So I'm paying you 40. A couple years ago on the 20, you paid, when the fish was 20, you paid 15%. If the fish is now 40, I'm paying 15% on 40 now. Isn't that already more money?
Not
And
really.
that's already more money.
Yeah, but see, the one thing you're not allowing for is like
the cost of
food everything
prep.
else. Like, but not only that, but food prep. But like, I'm talking about cost in the world, right? So you're essentially what you're essentially saying is, right? Put it like this: when you work on a job, right, for X amount of years, right? Every year or whenever your evaluation is, you expect to get an annual increase of some sort.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you should. That's on the owner. That's on the owner of the establishment.
Well, yeah, but tips is the whole concept of tipping is based on the patron paying the server.
But I'm still paying you more than you would have gotten because 40 is more than 20.
Right. But even though you're paying more, it still doesn't equal out. So let's take this into consideration, right? There are 7 states. There are only 7 states that, according to the Department of Labor, that I just looked this up, that actually force restaurants to pay their wait staff the minimum wage.
Got it.
So if that's the case, they're trying to capture this money because, turn that oven on, turn on that fryer, turn on those lights are still overhead costs before that plate even gets to you.
Right. That's on the owner though. But as the server, you're not doing anything different. The plate of fish. Let's go with simple math because y'all learned types and y'all using words and numbers and shit. That $20 plate of fish at 10% is $2. That $40 plate of fish at 10% is $4. As a server, I have doubled your money. You've already doubled your money. How is it? And I took econ in college. How do you equate cost of living and inflation by saying, oh, well, everything costs more, so your tip has to go up to 22. The price of the food has already went up. So the same percentage that I'm paying on that number has increased already.
You're not allowing for like I keep saying inflation because it's a real thing. So like
right.
that even if that $2 piece of fish is now $6 and they're making whatever margins they're making, right? But you're not thinking about, especially in the restaurant business nowadays, right?
Right.
In large part, like Dr. Clarkson was saying, it doesn't just go from the kitchen and then the server gets it and brings it to your table, right? You got the kitchen guy, you got the other prep guy, you got this guy, you got that guy, and like Clark said, you got to tip out all these, assistants in people, a sense that are helping.
That don't happen everywhere. That doesn't happen everywhere though.
Well,
but it happens a lot. It happens more than you probably think.
I'll say this humbly and politely. It happens at the establishments we go to.
Yeah, you just don't notice it.
No, I'm hip to it. I've been that. I've worked. Right, so I have done it.
That whole tipping out. That tipping out thing is a real thing. Well, so you're not
tipping out is I've been in this. I've worked the back line in a tip out situation. What I'm saying is that's a hustle anyway. That's a ripoff anyway. That's the owner not willing to operate in a system that's beneficial to his employees.
Okay, so let me put it where you can get it. Then be an owner, player.
Yeah.
You gotta be an owner.
That's good.
That's what the money. That's why the owners go. What? Stay late. Stay after closing. Watch what car the owner gets into.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. But
that's
okay,
why.
So, Dr. Clarkson, for the history angle,
Mhm.
who mathematically, I've gone to places now where the only options that because John always says the tip is suggested, right?
Correct.
And I've read places. Somebody even said on the post that I made that it's actually illegal for them to force tip.
They
But
can't. You cannot.
but everywhere does it, and
Yeah.
they write it so that you can't not do it. They
Oh,
put
the
the
Well, here's the
absolutely
thing.
don't
Well,
have
well,
to.
well, hold on.
Mhm.
It's illegal, and this is where English is fun, right? It's illegal to call it a tip,
okay,
but you can call it something else.
okay,
But
which
we
is
all know what it
unfortunate.
is because
Yeah,
it's a game of semantics, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
Everybody's
force gratuity.
yeah. But
right.
they'll bring
But
you
we know what it is.
they'll bring you the receipt that has no other option except for you paying that tally, that total number.
See, I always challenge you by saying this, right?
Ask for itemized.
No, if I'm going to be that guy tonight, right? And let's say just it wasn't worthy of the 15 or the 18 or 20%,
Right.
whatever it is you tacking on to me, and it just did not. It wasn't worthy of it. I did not have a great experience. I'm gonna be the guy and say, nah, man, I'm gonna need you to take that off. I'm not paying that. And
Which
they
is
have to take it off.
That's fine. That's fine.
They have to
Right.
take it off.
So
that is correct.
So what I was about to ask, from an economic standpoint, I go to a place, it's a lot of these places in DC, they do it because they're trying to attract a certain crowd, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Which is so inflammatory. to me.
And or detract a certain crowd.
Yes,
That too,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
correct.
Repel,
Point.
yeah. So it's so inflammatory to me. But they'll have the suggested gratuity, right? Starting at 18 and ending at like 24,
Yes.
which is completely ridiculous to me. Who sets the numbers?
The numbers are really
Because that doesn't match inflation.
the numbers are actually the equivalent of you getting the dice in your hand and throwing them against the wall.
Okay.
That's the other thing
Yeah.
that's inside of this article that I was able to pull up is that the numbers don't even make sense. Everyone's literally trying to grab at a number that will be fair to all parties, but nothing really makes any sense. Like literally nothing makes any sense. Really, really, to be honest with you, the number probably should be nationwide, somewhere that flirts around 35 to 40%.
Of what? Of the meal I just had?
Unfortunately, yeah, because
nah.
no,
Let me
and
get that
I'm,
to
and
go.
I'm,
Let me
I-
get that.
and-
Let me get that takeout,
Yeah.
man.
right. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
like, what it is that
I can serve myself.
Yeah.
we all know that there's so many different there's so many mouths that literally got to get fed off of a dining experience. Because
Mhm.
dining is so specialized. Like this dude does, the bar. This dude is the frontline cook. This dude does this. This person does that, and so on and so on and so on. Like these, the cloth napkin joints got specialization, and these people need to be paid. So either
And I'm even on board with those types of establishment because I feel the cloth tablecloth guy, there's a certain level of training and
Yeah. Well, that's a different. Yeah, you're
accoutrements
going
and
for an
dress code and
experience.
just the whole, and they'll do,
Right.
my favorite is when they scrape the breadcrumbs with the little metal
Yeah.
metal
Right.
spatula.
Little
Yeah, the
table,
little
tablecloth
I thought that's what I'm saying, like at least your play sets, you know what I mean, for you to go again.
Yeah.
I get that, but not everywhere. And nowadays, post-COVID, because the economy and because of that system being so jacked up and minimum wage being such a discussion, now every place thinks that they're entitled to a tip, even when you're just picking up, when
I was
you're
just
not
about to
even
say-
sitting down. And I'm like, no, fam.
I was just about to say, what do you think about this hustle? Somebody mentioned it earlier, but I'll redress it in a different way. What do you feel about, when you're going to a takeout spot,
Yeah, carry out.
right? And it used to be they just had a tip thing in the front if you felt so unkind, and drop
Right,
your little
right.
extra loose change or whatever in there. And now it's like there's a whole tip line,
Mhm.
there at a carry out, a takeout spot.
Yeah, nah,
Like
nope.
y'all doing that?
because everyone's trying to find. Well, here's the thing, too. Let's be a little honest. Waiting tables is an undesirable job, and everybody's trying to market their job to be a little bit better than everyone else.
Mm.
So if you're able to say inside of an interview that our waiters are making X plus amount of money because we have those systems in place, more than likely you're able to fully staff a wait staff a lot quicker than other restaurants. And just in the restaurant business, my dad used to say this all the time because when he owned a restaurant, whoever has a fully staffed restaurant usually wins. And if your wait staff is happy, they're gonna definitely win. So there it
So
is.
I have full transparency, and I've said it before, and I'm very shameless about it. 20% out of me is going to be. It's not going to happen a lot. And it's not for me. It's not even about money, having it or not having it. It's just leaving my house with the understanding that 120% of my food budget is that's a hard thing to reconcile mentally. Like you get to the point, if you have a good time, you're about to pay time and a half for the meal and a half.
Meal and a half.
Meal and a half. Because you 30, 40, you might throw some if you got cash, you might throw some whole bills down.
Right.
Yeah, you
200
throw a whole bill down. Yeah. And it's like,
uh-huh.
because you're not tripping. Like, I'd rather tip in cash. But when I actually have to see the amount that it's 20% of the meal, I didn't get 20% extra.
Well, what percentage would you feel comfortable with?
He said he's on like 15 to 18. I think he said he was like 15 or 18% or something.
Bro,
In no way, shape, or form. Not in you came to.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I went out. Hold on. So the point was, you as a server, you came to work to serve. You're not like, oh, that was a good shot, like at the free throw line. No, you're trying to you're working. I'm not at work basing what I can do here on achieving. Like, I have to achieve the top level of service the whole time I'm here. So when you came to work, I'm like, hey, you know what? Today was a good day for you. Like, you were supposed to. You did what you were supposed to. You brought the bread out. That's what you were supposed to do. How do I?
Okay, bro.
Okay, so didn't you say you used to work in the service industry?
I did, and I did my job. I did what was expected.
Yeah, and if you got, so let's say you did your job, you did what was expected, and there were times you got shorted. Didn't you feel some kind of way when he was like, "Hey, man, that was
some kind of way when I got shorted." But customarily, even there's a minimum. I feel like there's a minimum 15, 18. That's fine. When people go 20, 22,
only exists up here.
Yeah, but when a restaurant expects me to agree with no matter what the service is,
I get that
20,
part.
22, 24, like, that's not even
No.
Are you trying to?
So part about it being.
Let me ask you. Can I ask this? Let me try it this way. What's the average cost that you pay for, like, let's say for table of two?
What do you mean average cost?
The price of a meal, like a dining experience.
Oh, at this age, it's never under 100.
No.
Okay, so we'll put it at 125. That's fair.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, 125. Okay, so yeah. So let's do it like this, right? My math is horrible. Hold on. Because
that's
I'm going
like a $24. That's if it's 20%, that's like a $25 tip. Something like
$25 tip. So $25 got to get broke down 5 ways.
Not all the time, though.
It
doesn't work like that.
No, but if you're being for real, hold on. if you breaking it down 5 ways though, but you're not splitting it 5 ways. You're keeping 18 and passing out, $7 because there's 5 other servers that's going to do the same thing.
It's not even. It's not an even split. Yeah. And that's only if the tip out situation that's what it is back there, because there are some places it's not like that. There's some places with a venue don't even tip out credit card tips. They only tip out cash right. So that's different areas. So again, it's the establishment I feel like should catch more heat for what they not doing than what I'm not doing. That's what I think.
And it was at this point Lamont realized that he only wants to go to restaurants that are now that had the robot servers.
Oh, yes. It ain't gonna be a choice.
You was all against the robots before, but now you're like, yo,
now you're all in on the robots.
It ain't gonna be a choice. Really.
Until that robot walks up into you like, this is 20%.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's really no way I can get out of that, because then that dog gonna come out the back, the little robot
tink,
dog.
Tink.
Yeah.
Tink.
Yep. Fun times.
I mean, I'm all for, like, I don't know. I just, these little spots, these little side street spots. They're sexy, and on H and on and downtown DC and on the wharf, and that joint said 24. I remember the first time I read 24 on an actual receipt. I was like,
Yeah,
how?
I saw that recently. I was like, wait a minute,
who
I think
gave
this is
y'all?
wrong.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like,
who authorized this? Who gave you the permission to even come at me like this?
Because like I appreciate the little
suggested.
The little suggestive
Yeah, I like
math.
that.
Because like if I had a good time, I'm not trying to do this math in my head.
Yeah.
But like, keep it in mind. Like they started it at 20. I was like, wait a second, what happened to? And I saw the other ones. I was like, who's giving 25%?
Yes, I ain't crazy. I ain't all the way crazy.
This is funny. I love it. I'll holler at y'all.
All right, bro.
All right, there it is, folks.
Yep.
We are right on time. Good to see y'all. No sound effects. Appreciate everybody that came through. And we're here on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hope to see you again. Hit the like button. Save this. Share it.
Go ahead and put the tip in this weekend on somebody.
You know what? Put the tip in on us.
Right. There you go. And there it is. There it is.
Right.
Right. Like what you heard? Go ahead and put
the tip in. And I'm fine with just 15%. I'm fine with it. Because I know what service I came here to do a service, and we did it. Mm-hmm. So whatever you feel is 15% work,
touches your soul.
Yeah, hey,
whatever's on your heart,
I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. Shout out to Interloper, my man Rob.
Okay,
always on time. I'm gonna change the title. Just put the tip in. Oh, that's it right there. I'm see if I can do it right now. Freaknik, and put the tip in.
There you go.
Let me do it while we're live on the air.
I don't know, but you immediately need to relabel that.
Just put the tip in.
Just put the tip in. Stop playing.
Look at that.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Back in my day, we used to only tip 15%. Right? 15%.
Right.
15% of my meat in, and then that's how it was a whole different. Now y'all just go
on. Count.
Yeah, y'all just put all 25% of your meat in, and it just was a different time.
Right. That's why you're getting on that trouble now. Yeah. Put too much meat in there.
All right. We'll see y'all. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad efficient.